Greetings. In this video, I want to talk about the paragraph and the various elements that we use when writing paragraphs in hopes that it will help you throughout the semester as we do various types of writing. So I've titled this Composing a Paragraph. It's a simplified way of looking at how you would write, and you can use this video to help you with the PDF file, which are the slides that I'll be talking about today. So let's talk about the word paragraph first and just kind of dissect what it means. This is kind of also to help you understand bases, or what we call roots, and prefixes and suffixes, which altogether would be affixes. So paragraph is formed with the prefix para and the base. Some would also argue that this is a suffix, but in this case it's a base, which is graph. And para is a suffix, it means beside something. Graph, as a meaning itself, would be writing. So put together, it's a small unit of writing that contains a single idea. And think about that for yourself as you're writing. You're conveying, as a writer, your ideas to the reader. And so we have some main elements that we want to think about. The first is, if we were to look at this paragraph here, the value of friendship. When you hear that or you read that, you automatically note that this is a title of the paragraph. Notice it's not a sentence. There's no full stop or period. By itself, it wouldn't be considered a sentence. Value of friendship. That means absolutely nothing unless it's situated as a title. If we look at this next part here, you'll see there's an indentation. You'll see it's just one long sentence. And that is what we would call the topic sentence. And the topic sentence, the job of that as a writer is for you to introduce the main idea to your reader. And then when we have all of these sentences that follow that the main idea of your topic sentence, then what we call those sentences are your supporting sentences, and they explain the main idea. And it's very important for them to have cohesion. And we're going to talk about cohesion and coherence in another video, but this is basically the idea of transitioning, using transition words or using ideas that show that each of the sentences are related to one another. And then lastly, we have a final sentence that basically closes out the whole idea of your paragraph writing. And that is what we call a conclusion sentence. And those are very important when you are doing a paragraph writing, that you have these various elements. And so let's kind of break those down slide by slide. So the title tells the reader the paragraph's main idea. It should be catchy. It should catch the reader's attention, and it shouldn't be boring. It shouldn't just say title. It shouldn't just say something regular. It should say something that will make people think, oh, I'm interested. Maybe I should keep reading on. The title also is not a sentence within itself. It's a well-chosen word or a phrase, and it should be related to everything that's in the text that you wrote about. Now, the title in this model paragraph, it's styled as a phrase, indicating that the reader will learn something about friends. The topic sentence, it should introduce the reader to the main idea, your main idea. It should always be indented when you're typing. And an indented line is just a way of showing that you've begun a new idea. So if we were to add another paragraph to this, it would be indented. It would show, oh, now I'm moving from one paragraph to the next. The supporting sentences that we talked about, those supporting details in a paragraph, they should explain or they should show why a topic sentence is true. All of the sentences must relate to the topic sentence. And as you can see plainly here in this written paragraph, they're all connected. And the supporting details, they could be examples, they can be facts, they could be descriptive details, or even narrative. And a lot of times students get stuck on this. When I teach paragraph writing, I tell students, if you don't know what to say, ask questions and then answer the questions and use those as sentences. So if this student wanted to continue on about what they're writing with, they could ask more questions. What could I elaborate more on? Or what could I explain? Or what anecdote or statistical facts could I add to this to make it stretch out and be connected? And then finally, with the conclusion sentence, the last sentence in the paragraph recaps some of the aspect of the main idea. It doesn't always have to do that. You'll find it appropriate when you write it. If it seems awkward, read it out loud or let a peer look at it. And if it seems like it closes pretty well, then you probably have a good conclusion sentence. If it doesn't, then you might want to revise it and make it fit what you've written. One way to write the closing sentence is to repeat a rephrase or a keyword or an idea that was mentioned in the topic sentence. So for example, here, the title is The Values of Friendship, and that's repeated at the end of the sentence. And that's something you can do as a technique. It's not always something that you will do. So keeping all of this in mind when you're writing your paragraphs, consider the reading-writing relationship. And it kind of trickles down in this hierarchy with the instructor, that's myself. I'm responsible for ensuring that you as the writer develop strategies for your academic writing. And then you as the writer are the one who's responsible for producing a text that's coherent to the reader. And then we have the text itself. And that function of the text is that it should be coherent, meaning it makes sense, only if the writer carefully organizes and plans what he or she wants to convey. And so if we don't understand what you're trying to say to us, then that means something is faulty in the writing. And then lastly, what you should think about fourth is the reader. And the reader is the one who's going to interpret your text. So always remember this reading-writing relationship or the reader-writer relationship. If you remember your audience or you know who you're writing to, it will make the writing easier, and it will show in the writing if you keep that approach in mind. So just to sum it all up here, think about these elements in the paragraph. Whenever we're doing a discussion board post, we're writing an email or a memo, or you're reading short portions of writing, or you're answering essay questions, write them out first as a rough draft, and then go back and look and see, do I have all of these elements? Do I have a title? Do I have an opening sentence? Do I have supporting sentences? Do I have a conclusion? If you don't, go back and revise them. So hopefully this will help you as you're writing, beginning in your first few weeks. And I look forward to reading whatever it is that you're going to be sharing for us throughout the semester.